This is Jamal Bryant. He went viral over the weekend, and people are saying he went on this racist rant during his church ceremony, telling people about something with MAGA and white supremacy. So just take a listen.
Come on, public enemy. I came to tell white supremacists. I came to tell MAGA. I came to tell white privilege. We coming, we coming, we coming. We coming, we coming. God said, when you give me glory, I'm going to run them out of the State Department. If you give me glory, I'm going to run them out of Congress and run them out of Senate. If you give me glory, I'm going to run them off of your job and run them off of your classroom. I need you to take your neighbor's hand and say, neighbor, we got to shout like we got faith. Come on, public enemy.
So what he said, wait, let me play this one more time.
I came to tell white supremacists. I came to tell MAGA. I came to tell white privilege. We coming, we coming, we coming.
Okay, so he wants to tell MAGA and white privilege and white supremacy that he's coming, that they're coming.
You see those little funny looking boys jumping around in front of the pulpit that are an abomination to the gospel. That's what he wants to promote, taking over the public schools as they were, not somebody trying to straighten it out. So he's being of the works of the devil. So look at him. That's what you get.
So why are they coming after MAGA people? So I guess they're assuming that all MAGA people are supposed to be racist.
Well, see, that's what they do when they start doing that in the churches. Why are they coming after a significant number of black folk? Remember, 17% average black men went for Trump and MAGA. So who's he talking about? That's why he doesn't have anything except those little sweet looking boys bouncing around in his church and a bunch of lonely looking women.
So here's the thing, they're quick to say white supremacy, but it's like, okay, there is no white people controlling where you live at. So why is it that the community is still poverty stricken and high crime? And you, as a church with a very large congregation, right? You're
it's
not
because of the likes of him.
Right. They're not creating any programs or resources to help with that.
They're pacifying black folk and redirecting their attention to some kind of nebulous devil instead of to what they ought to be concentrating on. That's been the job of black preachers for the last several hundred years in this country and around the world too. But some of them don't follow that pattern, thank goodness. But this one does. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Illustrating white supremacy. Why doesn't he start preaching to his congregation about you can take charge, have the courage to speak up and tell your representatives to be honest and forthright with you? Why doesn't he say that? That would be a lot better for the cause than what he's saying, which is just Negro given special privileges for keeping the rest of the Negroes obedient
to the Democrat Party.
The old party of the old slave masters who are experts in the art of controlling Negroes and practicing on Negroes for a couple of 100 years. They learned the art pretty well, and now they're trying to practice on a lot of white people, yellow people, red people, and brown people as well. But the American public said, hell no, you're going to hell. So go see the devil on your own. Don't try to take us with you. We want things returned to normalcy.
But there's still a lot of black people who subscribe to that.
Yeah. There were a few black folk who escaped from slavery, and a lot of them remain slaves.
Right.
So what else is new?
Well,
The ones whose ancestors escaped don't think like that. The ones whose ancestors stayed, a lot of them do think like that.
I mean, this. Let me ask you a quick opinion on the, because I see our guest, on the state of the black church.
Pathetic. They've been taken over by pulpit pimps, not those who deliver a message. They won't talk about sin, they just talk about belief. Some folk think they give it to heaven by doing good deeds. All you got to do is believe. You can be a pimp, a hoe, a drug dealer, a murderer, or a thief. But if you have belief, you'll see the pearly gates. So many of them preach that. I told the preacher about themselves a couple of years ago. Judge Brown, if you start preaching against sin, you won't have anybody in the congregation and there'll be no money in the collection plate. I said, well, then close down. Your duty is to preach salvation through righteousness, not trying to deal with hustling folk. So close yourself down. You don't deserve to be open.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, all right. So you know what? Let's stick in Georgia, because this church, that New Birth Baptist Church, is in I think it's in Atlanta, around in that area. So
This one that we just heard.
yeah, Pastor Jamal Bryant, he took over the New Birth Baptist Church.
And why would I know the New Birth?
Well, I don't think you would personally know it, but it's a very well known church, a very large congregation, and I forgot the other pastor name. He ended up dying, and it was a rumor allegedly he died of AIDS because he was
Yeah, that's too typical.
Eddie Long. That was his Bishop Eddie Long. He used to be the head preacher.
That's why they got all them little funny looking folk prancing around up there around the pulpit, all spastically.
I guess. I don't know.
Hey, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that church has a lot of drama. And a lot
The black church, most of the big ones, they're not doing what they ought to do. Like a King's old church, right across the street, is one of the most disgraceful areas in America. And not only is the preacher looking at it every time he leaves services, which is seldom these days, since he's also sitting up in Congress. Senator, what's his name?
Warnock.
What's his name?
Warnock.
What's his name?
I'm not going to keep saying his name.
He wants you to say his name. Just say it thinking of it as the devil incarnate.
Yeah. All right.
He has actual opportunity, capacity, and authority to do something about that pestilence right across the street from him that has besmirched so many people, and that he has done nothing. He needs to be stripped of his authority to wear ecclesiastical robes and declared the pulpit pimp that he is.